What's up, man?
What's going on? What up? What up? How you doing, sir?
Cooler than a fan.
That's what's up. What's going on, everybody? It's Sunday Night Live. Comments with Rich. Got my man Paul in the building with me tonight. And Sunday Night Live is a show that we do where we, love the melanator and mess with the mayo and keep it a stack. So we're gonna talk comics. We're gonna talk news. We'll talk about a little bit of everything, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Sorry for the technical difficulties in our color people time, you know what I'm saying? That happens when you deal with technology. I just don't think the powers that be, they not trying to help us be great, Paul. They just not. They throwing everything that they can. It's okay. It's okay. Take it slow.
And we're not trying to just be good. We're trying to be great.
We're trying to be great, man. So be that as it may, we do have a show to get to, so we don't want to prolong the time. We kept people waiting. If you're here, please shout us out. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Black Comic Boys fam. Shout out to Black Superheroes Forever, all of our brothers in the comic book community, our sisters as well. We greet you in peace. And we want to thank you again for hanging out with us. So get your libation, get you some bags, get you some boards, kick your feet up, hang out with us for a while, and we get your week started. So this is how we do it. Let's get to the first topic on the night, comics of the week. And tonight this is going to be a little different because for whatever reason, the stars just aligned. And we're going to share with you two books that we both read. Too deep to dive or whatever, but I have thoughts. You know how that goes. Rich gets thoughts. It's the trouble ahead. So let me preface by saying that the thoughts and opinions of said Mr. Richard Wright do not reflect the staff, board, or commentary of Black Comic Boys Incorporated. Just want to let you know, basically, as translation say, this Negro is on an island by himself. So don't take it personal. Don't hang us up. Don't cancel us, okay? I'm just offering social commentary because I'm a social butterfly. Being with that said, let's get to the first book, Paul. What are we talking about tonight?
Well, first book that we have on our agenda is one that's been popping up on the pages all week, particularly from our boy Ron Flood, who's a big fan. We have Spider-Punk #1.
All right. Hobie Brown.
Hobie Brown. So, Hobie Brown from the Spider-Verse, who is a punk rock singer, band member / Spider-Man from an alternate reality, from a despotic, dystopian, alternate world where I guess the gangs are made up of various punk bands. But he has his team of people in his band that consist of himself, Riot Heart, which is a form of Riri Williams, and a Captain America. I forget what name he was going by, but it was some version of a Captain America. Not a whole lot happened. I mean, they go up there. You have sort of the introduction of the Riri character, which they've never done before. That's new. In fact, what's interesting is I think this might be the first. Is this the first alternate reality Riri character? No, that'd be Dark Ages. I don't know. What did you think of it?
I mean, it was cool, man. That Captain America character that you're talking about, actually, that's a Native American character. And the only reason why I know that is because he made commentary about being on the Res.
Okay.
So the Res is R-E-Z is actually slang for reservation. So this Captain America alternate reality is a Native American. So who his name is and his background, I have no clue. But what I did think of the issues, I thought this was a pretty good issue 1. The art, I
I
wish it
wasn't
was a little
feeling it.
better.
Yeah,
I
I
wasn't.
wasn't feeling the art, man. I mean, the concept is cool, but the art just wasn't quite doing it for me.
Yeah. They and again, it's one of those things where I think they are going with, since it's Spider Punk, they want some kind of aesthetic that kind of reflects punk rock culture and things of that nature. But I wish that the art was a little more polished. I like the cover art. Cover
Yeah,
art on the book was dope. But the art
yeah. That
itself
cover's
is okay.
by the cover's by my man Olivier Coipel, just one of my
Yeah,
favorite
that's what's
cover
up.
artists,
Right.
black
Yeah,
French
but
artist.
yeah, he's a dope artist for sure. He's been on a lot of stuff of late, and but this issue here, I think it was pretty cool. Craven and the Hunters, or whatever they're supposed to be, some kind of Nazis or whatever, neo Nazis or whatever. It was a fun story, a lot of action in the book. I think it's, like I said, I think it was a dope first issue. You know what I'm saying? Glad to see this an iteration of Riri Williams, popping up, whatever. So, and like I said, I think we both enjoyed the issue. It's just the art could, they left something to be desired when it came to the
Yeah,
art. You know what I'm saying? So I am looking forward to issue 2, because it did end with a bang. You
yeah,
know, so there's that too. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to give this book away in terms of talking about it too much, because I do think it's definitely something that you could, guys, if you haven't picked it up, go pick this up. It's a pretty dope concept, pretty dope, character, and yeah, man. So we team Spider Punk, or they say Spider Band. They had a lot of they had a lot of little quips in this issue that were kind of funny.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. So I don't know about you, but I'm gonna give this 4 power fists. Right on, right on, right on.
four power piston and pinky.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, what did you think about it overall, though? I mean, did you really enjoy it?
No, I did. I just I don't know. Maybe the artwork just takes a little something for me to get used to. I enjoyed this one panel here. So here's the whole team. You got Spider Punk, Riot Heart, and Captain America or Captain Rez. I don't know what name he's going by. Oh,
Captain
you know what?
Anarchy.
He's got the
Captain
Anarchy sign.
Anarchy.
He's Captain Anarchy.
Yeah, yeah, Captain
Captain
Anarchy.
Anarchy.
Yeah.
Right. They had this cool run-in with Craven, and Craven like spits on Riri, or tries to spit on Riri right there.
Yeah.
And she's like, "That's gonna be the first and last time you spit at me, white boy." This is probably my favorite part. That's the part I like the most.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was good. That
I
was
was surprised. I was surprised Marvel allowed them to do that, but
good. Yeah,
this I enjoy it. I've already pre-ordered my second issue. This is written by Cody Ziegler, who's a brother as well. He just did a run on Amazing Spider-Man. He was doing a lot of the backup stories with the Beyond Corporation. He was in particular the one who wrote the storyline from issue 92 Beyond with
Okay.
Monica Rambeau. That was his writing. So he's the writer on this book as well. So we have black characters with a black writer. I'm gonna be down for it. So
That's
regardless.
Hey, and shout out to the good Mayo people. Y'all better get used to this melanin. I'm just saying.
All right.
I say Miles is not a token no longer. We got another black Spider-Man. So because trust me, I do believe that this is going to be a very successful series for Marvel. So shout out for them for really, go ahead and taking a chance with this character, whatever. He's been in other books, of course, we know. But to go ahead and give him his own book, you know what I'm saying? It was long overdue. And so shout out to Marvel, y'all, we see you, Marvel. We see you work. So with that, what's our next book we're going to talk about tonight?
Next book we have is, I want to say it's controversial, to use
Yeah, it
a
is.
phrase.
Yeah, it is.
I guess it depends on what side of the fence you swing on this issue, but the Joneses from AWA and Upshot Comics. So this is a book that spins out of another series done by J. Michael Straczynski, I believe, called The Resistance. In essence, this is a world where people have gained superpowers. But I don't think you need to read that prior series to get the concept of this. So the world now has superpowers. People are freaking out because, some people use their superpowers for good, some people use them for bad. It's general hysteria. What I like about this series is that it's really sort of rooted and grounded in reality. I really visualize that if people truly started to develop superpowers in our world, you would have a lot of the reactions that you have in this book. You would have people having, neighborhood watch meetings saying, we got to root out the undesirables and make sure that they're registered. They're talking about registering, just like how you have mutants registering in the Marvel books, the Superhero Registration Act, and the Marvel books as well. That's the concept that they have here. It's a question of your personal liberties, your right to live just because you're different. Those type of themes are intriguing, and I think they handle it in a very interesting way. I'm not sure about this family makeup. I read in a comment someone put somewhere online that the father and the son are basically one family, and the mother has a child from their previous relationship, and they've married and sort of brought the family together. I don't know if that's the case or not, but certainly the father's black, the mother's white, the daughter's biracial, certainly the son appears black. I don't know, but they're a family and they go by the name of Joneses. They're trying to be very low key, with their powers. They don't want anyone to know that they have powers. They just want to live normal lives as a family in this suburban neighborhood. But things go awry. But I dug it. I'm here for the next issue.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack in this one issue. I don't want to.
And the artwork was good too.
Yeah, artwork was very good. I don't want to get into the specifics of it. Suffice to say that this particular issue tackles a number of things on a number of fronts.
Yes, it does.
There is white liberal, pushback, if you will. There is conservatism in regards to this family. They are what America is marketing currently the future. I know you're saying, Richard, what do you get? We could actually morph this into, Richard, are you on to something or on you on something? And the reason why I say that is because if you have to be basically someone that doesn't have a TV to not see the dynamic playing out in America. America is marketing the multiracial or biracial or interracial marriage. This is what we have here. 50 years ago, you wouldn't see this.
Yeah, these are white creators, by the way. This team is all white. There's no black creators on this.
And I figured that much. So, but it's interesting though to see this dynamic play out, because what we're looking at is something. Well, we gotta identify these people that have these powers. What is really the power? And the power is normalcy. They're trying to create normalcy out of something that historically, in this case, abnormal. So they're using the whole thing with powers to kind of market or to kind of sell what they're really getting at.
Yeah.
I see you, Upshot. You ain't fooling nobody. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, they're really kind of using it as a bit of a metaphor, right? I like this scene that I have
Yes,
on here in particular. It's very telling. So you have
there it is.
you have
That's the
in
one.
essence you have this community meeting, this neighborhood watch meeting or PTA type meeting, and here's this random neighbor lady, whose name is
Yeah.
she says, "Who says these reborns are going to hurt anyone? We don't know anything about them. I, for one, am not going to sit here while you parrot some right wing crackpot nonsense about them causing the Great Death." So someone yells, "So it's just coincidence? A virus of unknown origins decimates the entire world, and right after people start displaying superpowers, those two things aren't related? Look, if these people exist and have nothing to hide, then why not step forward? Register with the community. I'm as big of a champion of diversity as anyone, but..." And the brother's like, "Okay." And then his wife, this woman in the middle, says, "Marcus." He's like, "Come on. 6 months ago, Judy, who I assume is this blonde lady, was rocking a Black Lives Matters sign. Now she's sharpening her pitchfork the day someone different threatens her open and inclusive community." And so Sonia, the neighbor, this is the part that gets me. She goes, "Sonia, Marcus is saying what a lot of us are thinking. Judy's awful. She's the first to tell everyone to be kind and welcoming, but when you see her on the street, she can't even be bothered to say hello. And since we're being honest, her two sons are the worst." And it's like, this is what I don't get about the scene. Why is the neighbor having to explain a black man's outrage to the black man's wife?
Well,
I didn't get that.
we don't have enough time to unpack that. That's why I say there's a whole lot in this issue.
And Sonia kind of looks Hispanic to me.
Yes.
So it's kind of like the black and brown people understand the concept of what's going on, but the wife is like, why are you going in so hard on the neighbor?
I mean, it's what the brother said in that scene. He says, come on, 6 months ago, Judy was rocking a Black Matters, live sign. Now she's sharpening a pitchfork, and it's one of those things where when we talk about white liberalism,
yes, right.
The whole part is that it's really more dangerous than the quote unquote white conservatism, because it's a little more subtle. There are a lot of things that play into that. And so you initially would think that, well, these people are actually for us, but yet their actions say something different. And,
right.
Like I say, it's a lot here. It's a lot here. I don't know what, the MO of these guys is writing this comic book. I'm curious to see where it goes, which is why I will be picking up with you. And we'll probably, go ahead and collect the whole thing, because this is a very new thing.
It's thought provoking.
Yes, it is.
There's a lot of layers to it.
Very, very layered to it. I think that it's funny. I'm looking forward to seeing some of the letters to the editor, if they allow it for this particular book, to see where people are at. And it's critical because, this is, like you said, coming out of another comic. The Resistance was a pretty good book. Yeah. However, this is one of those things where, okay, let's, go after the middle class, traditional, progressive type of America that we think is wonderful and on its surface looks well. Okay, let's just kind of give these people powers. Let's see if if we can kind of play in that trough, so we can because these are fundamental things that, in regards to America's soul, You know, how does America go forward? Are we living, in fact, in a post-racial America, as Obama, when he was elected to office, kind of signaled? But yet we do have January 6th to kind of remind us.
Right,
Our thoughts
and to
pre
your
before.
point, the unpacking of that layer of civility that's supposed to
Yes,
exist in these suburban spaces
yes.
of sort of a quote unquote post-racial neoliberal world. You've
Hmm.
got this community meeting at look what appears to be a library or something. They're literally drinking wine, you know, and having hors d'oeuvres in a very civilized setting, and they're having these discussions about human liberties.
Yep.
You know, this could be anywhere in America,
Anywhere.
anywhere, and this
Anywhere.
looks like this could be my neighborhood. You know,
Yeah.
with a couple more black people in it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it's that's what I liked about it is that it's really grounded in a sense of reality. I could see this as our world. You know,
Yeah.
these conversations taking place.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
you know,
I enjoyed it.
yeah, and it ends interestingly with a knock at the door. The family is talking, blah blah blah, and you know there's someone there that's going to start a neighborhood watch group and wants to count them in. Even though, of course, she doesn't know that the whole family has powers.
Right.
They're trying to hide, and you know it's weird. It's a weird dynamic, especially with the children. I really would like to get into the situation with the children, but like I don't want to spoil it for no one. So please go ahead and
Yeah.
cop this issue. Now I'm gonna be honest, it's an AWA upshot, which means that you won't find this book at every comic book store. You may have to actually try to hunt this down. But it's readily available. I will say this though. When I went to my LCS and I grabbed it off the shelf, it was the last copy. So people are reading it. People are going to be talking about this book. So might want to get it. Now, as far as me giving it a rating, you know, it's very, very, the mayonnaise is strong in this, so I got to give it one proud fist for the token brother that's in the book and the token son. I'm gonna need you to like your sister said. I'm gonna need you to grow a pair, so you're only gonna get one pound fish from me. Right on.
One out of five.
1 out of 5.
1 out of 5.
No,
So that's
no.
not a comment on the quality of the book, just on its
No,
level
no, no,
of
no.
melanation.
Yeah. We need more. We need more melon. I need the melanin to man up. That's so. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes because there's a lot to unpack here, and we may actually want. I might actually consider doing a deep dive on this book because there's a lot in this book, a whole lot. And
Yeah.
so, funny thing is, I can see certain people trashing this book.
Oh yeah, though they already have. I mean,
Yeah,
they were
but
trashing
I
it before
also,
it even came out, talking about,
yeah,
oh well,
yeah,
this is what we get. We get a biracial family. We can't even get a black family. Oh, this is the worst book of the year. I'm like, the book comes
yeah.
out
Well, you
tomorrow.
know,
How do you even know what the book? Can we at
shout
least
out
read
to
the
the
book before we trash it?
yeah, shout out to the hotels. We're gonna holler at y'all. Don't worry, hotels. I got you. We're gonna holler at y'all in down the rabbit hole. We go. It's okay. We got you. We got you. We see you working.
Everybody wants
Anyway,
to be a baby Dr. Umar Johnson. It's crazy.
yeah. Please chime in. We want all the smoke. But look, we got to transition to our next topic on tonight. Our next segment, I should say, and that is low hanging fruit. This is a segment where we talk about things that are in the news, things that are not we don't have to necessarily wrestle with or whatever. We can just kind of offer our commentary on it and be a blessing. So this week's news comes via Bleeding Cool. Now, I'm not going to mistake Bleeding Cool for CNN or even Fox News or any reputable news outlet, but Bleeding Cool tends to do okay when it comes to nerdom and comics in particular. So we have one story involving Jon Stewart. I got my man on tonight, got my Jon Stewart shirt on tonight. So we're going to talk Jon Stewart and Green Lantern. Now, you're probably saying we hadn't talked about Jon Stewart, Green Lantern in a minute. You know what I'm saying? Last time you probably remember, I kind of trashed issue number 10, and I'm trying to still forget it and not throw up in my mouth behind that issue. Got better though. So we have issue 12 coming up pretty soon, and this is going to conclude this story arc in terms of Green Lantern, the book. But the news is that we are going to get a new John Stewart book, and it will have John Stewart in the title. I know, Paul, you had been on that hill. That John Stewart needs
saying that for a while.
You know, we know that he had been saying that he needs to have his name in the title, and his name, in fact, will be in the title of the new book that's coming out. It's going to be called John Stewart and the Emerald Knights.
Right. Okay? If they can have a Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, they can have a John Stewart and his Emerald Knights. About damn time.
Yes.
Nobody checks for Hal Jordan. Does anybody really care about Hal Jordan? I mean, seriously.
Well, there
may be a couple 55 plus 60-year-old dudes out there that care about Hal Jordan, but nobody cares about Hal Jordan.
I mean, listen, I was looking at some of the comments on Facebook and on the Bleeding Cool's feed, and that's matter of fact. You know what? They're not really checking for Hal. They want Kyle Rayner. That's who they want. They want to know what Kyle is. They want to know what Kyle is. He just said. Now, the Monty just put up a post. How does it compare to the antagonist? I don't think it's in the same. I think
he's talking about the last book.
Yeah,
the Joneses.
Imani, we actually transitioned, but to answer your question, I don't think it's the same thing. No, it's actually this is a book written by a couple of white guys talking about a multiracial or biracial family. Take with that, do what you want with it, but no, it's not the antagonist. It's certainly not.
And it's too early to tell, how good it is or will be because it's only one issue. Antagonist is 3 issues in.
Right. And they're getting ready to drop 4, in fact. So
other than the fact that they're families, they're 2 completely different types of families.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Sue Storm is not welcome to the party. Sorry, T'Challa.
It's like trying to compare Family Matters to Empire. They're just 2 completely different types of families.
Absolutely. So let's get back to our topic. DC will bring us John Stewart and the Emerald Knights in 2022. Bleeding Cool gets us at some point in 2022. DC will bring us a new comic book, John Stewart and the Emerald Knights, spanning out of the current Green Lantern series. Currently, this week's Green Lantern number 12 by Jeffrey Thorne, Tom Rainey, and Marco Santucci lists John Stewart as the Emerald Knight on the cover. But it seems that there will be more potentially such a series that might replace Green Lantern after the upcoming death of the Justice League, with John Stewart taking over the lead Green Lantern series going forward. But that would be speculation. Now, I want people to understand something that, shout out to DC. I love DC. Let me preface this by saying I love you guys, but you spoil everything. You spoil everything. You let us know what you're going to do before you put the books out. I don't get it, but I guess it works for you guys. So, and as us as fans, we just kind of have to roll with it. What are we going to say, Paul? Stop? No, they can't help themselves. This is what they do. So they have already said.
They're trying to build a hype, man. They're trying to build a hype.
But why would you say death of the Justice League? Why don't you just kill the Justice League and shock everybody? Not tell nobody.
Because they know. Look, the death of the Justice League is a big storyline because they've got this new Justice League coming out. So it's already been spoiled that Justice League is going to die and what issue they're going to die in. We don't know how they're going to die. But it's a major storyline that they are going to. The storyline's called Death of the Justice League.
Yeah. But and I know, Paul, whether it be death by electrocution, death by, heart attack. Death is death. So I'm just saying, bro. You know what I'm saying? They're killing off the Justice League. We take that's going to be Hal Jordan. It is what it is.
John, that's the thing. That's what I don't understand. If John Stewart is one of the Justice League, is going to die. So this announcement that he's getting his own series is a little problematic for me.
Well, here's the thing, though. They're talking about Hal Jordan, bro. I don't necessarily think they're talking about John Stewart, but we'll see. Now, the article goes on to say, your point, um, that John Stewart has been undergoing something called the Ascension.
Right.
And of course, we know that John Stewart is getting an upgrade in his
So let's
powers.
look at the cover. Look at the cover. What do we notice about the cover? The first thing you notice is the fact that the Green Lantern Corps is behind him, including Hal Jordan. Right? You got Sergeant Mullen, you got Hal Jordan, the rest of the Green Lantern Corps. I don't. Is that Teen Lantern? I can't quite tell. But the fact remains, the Green Lanterns are back. The Green Lanterns, for those of you who have not been following Green Lantern, were all depowered. All their rings were depowered, except for Teen Lantern and Sergeant Mullen. They're the only two lanterns that had their powers, because they're the two lanterns that had unique rings. Teen Lantern has a gauntlet, and that's ancient, and Sergeant Mullen has a special ring that doesn't require recharging. So they're the only ones that had power. So it looks like the Green Lantern Corps is back. That's the first thing you notice. The next thing you notice, look at John Stewart's chest. He does not have a lantern symbol on it. And look at his hands. He does not have a Green Lantern ring. Because with his ascension, they said his power levels are comparable or even more than Superman at this point. So he is more powerful than Superman at this point, and he does not require a ring. What I've been complaining about with John Stewart is he's always going to be in the shadow of Hal Jordan and viewed as a legacy character, as a misnomer, because he's not really a legacy character. The Green Lantern is a corps. They're cops. There's more than one cop. There's a bunch of Green Lanterns, but people will always view him, casuals in particular, always view him as in the shadow of Hal Jordan because he, came out before he did. But they don't do the same thing with Alan Scott, which is a whole other story. But the fact remains, what I've always said is John Stewart needs his own superhero name apart from the Green Lanterns. He's had enough history and storied enough to get his own name. I don't like the name Emerald Knight. I hope they give him his own superhero name that's unique. I think that would be dope.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting dynamic they're doing with him. There's a panel in the story where they talk about, choose your future state, which is a nod to the future state stuff, and it looks like he has chosen to be a knight, an Emerald Knight, which is different than a regular Green Lantern. So, like I said, he has no need for a ring. He has.
I would have gone with Green Guardian. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a possibility, but we'll see. We'll see. It's still early, but we do know that John Stewart book, John Stewart and the Green Lanterns or the Emerald Knights is coming. So, stay tuned. Now, Imani asks, or he makes the comment. He says Stewart doesn't feel like a solo book, more like an ensemble book, and it was. So Imani wants to know who's writing the book, and we can't definitively say that it's going to be Geoffrey Thorne, but my suspicion is that it will be Geoffrey Thorne.
I believe I read that Geoffrey Thorne. In fact, I read it from Geoffrey Thorne himself. That I think he's going to be continuing to read the book. Derek writes, maybe the organization dissolves. The Green Lanterns? I don't think so because they're all behind him.
Yeah, well, we'll find out this week when issue 12 comes out as far as what the future of the Green Lantern Corps is. And again, hey, this is the book that I have been going hard for. I didn't like issue 10, but other than issue 10, it's been a solid read. And so we've been clamoring for some good John Stewart book material. We kind of finally gotten it. And so now we're going to be able to get another progression in that degree. Well, his name will actually be mentioned in the title of the book. But now Rico, of course, he is part of the Legacy brand, though.
Professor Time. Shout out to Professor Time.
Shout out to Professor Time. We know Rico. We know. It's okay. We can we see you, brother. We see as one of our brothers.
Derek says Justice League. I think that's in tying to his does the organization dissolve? No, Derek. There's going to be a new Justice League that consists of the one that we previously were presented with in the future state, for the most part.
Well, now here's the thing about it. They make a point in the article also to say that John Stewart was the evil Emerald Knight in Future State Suicide Squad. And so there's that thought too. I did enjoy the John Stewart that was in the Crime Syndicate comic book. That wasn't
he called Emerald Knight in that Crime Syndicate?
Yes. So we may be getting that character. I don't know. We got to see. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of stuff going on, and I don't know how DC is going to shake this out in the wash, because DC does what DC does. They spoil stuff, so we're probably going to be the last ones to know what's going to happen with this book, because nobody's checking for it. Now, let me tell you why I want to talk about this tonight as low-hanging fruit. I want to talk about this tonight as low-hanging fruit because a lot of the comments that I read in the Bleeding Cool Facebook feed were very negative. And of course, white people just do not like black characters. I said it. I said what I said. I'm just convinced because they haven't showed me anything else. I mean, one guy described John Stewart as a wet blanket. Okay, that ain't no compliment, bro. And my thing is, if you're going to be critical, then you need to think critically. You don't just dismiss a character without really speaking to what you think is wrong. Funny thing is, these guys, a lot of them said that they dropped the book. He said, okay, I'm listening to y'all while I'm driving to Delaware. Sorry, I can't text because of me driving. No, bro, I'm going to need you to keep your hands on the wheel. Glad you're checking us out.
Thanks for checking us out, but to drive safe, man.
Yeah, safe travels. So, again, I mean, there were guys that were saying that, well, I dropped it when they started this. They haven't even read it. They're not even interested. And to me, that's I don't care. A lot of them were like, what happened to Kyle? Where's Hal? I don't know, dude. Maybe he's in your long box with all the 50 million other issues of Green Lantern you can read. But anyway, I felt a little triggered there, so I'm sorry. It's okay, though. It's okay. Well, that's enough. That's enough of low-hanging fruit. We're going to go ahead and switch gears. We're gonna make some black people mad right now. Sorry, white folks, but it's sometimes you have to smack your own, and it's okay. I love all y'all. Ain't nothing you can do about it.
Is this gonna be like a Will Smith type smack? Like, what are we doing?
No. We're not gonna get banned for 10 years. Shout out to the Oscars, because y'all really did Will Smith a favor by banning him for 10 years. Because you know what he's gonna do in those 10 years? He's gonna go out and make some dope movies. He's gonna be a lot of independent stuff that you won't be able to see in certain theaters, whatever. It's cool. He's gonna get his resume up. He's gonna get his PR firm situation straight. Will Smith will return and he'll be fine. I'm not going to. Nobody needs to feel sorry for Will Smith. Will Smith's probably worth nearly $250 billion. Okay, that dude is not going to miss a meal. He's not. His family is not going to suffer. He took a hit to his brand, yes, but he's good. He's cool. You know what I'm saying? I think they were very harsh, but I think they did him a favor in the long scope of things. The
other thing is, look, the penalty they're giving him is you can't show up to the Oscars. Doesn't mean he can't win an Oscar. He can still act, be nominated, and win an Oscar. He can still go to the after parties for the Oscars. He can still do interviews for nominations for Oscars. This is not really going to affect him in any way at all, really. He just can't go. He just can't be on television to receive his Oscar if he gets one.
Well, and it's kind of sad too, because You know, Samuel L. Jackson won an Oscar, an honorary Oscar this year, and they didn't even televise it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know, and guess what? I tell people this, and I'm just honest enough to say it. Black people don't care about the Oscars. They really don't, because you're not highlighting our characters. You didn't get Denzel an Oscar until Training Day. He had to play a crooked cop when he did a phenomenal job in Glory. He did a phenomenal job in Malcolm X.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the dude has had iconic roles, okay? But you gave him the Oscar for playing a crooked cop. You gave Halle Berry, well, you know what? I don't even want to talk about Halle Berry's Oscar.
Yeah, stop.
He had to take a back shot. He had to take a back shot from Billy Bob Thornton. Make me feel good. Make me feel. I'm like, really? We giving Oscars for that?
Man, black men across America were traumatized.
That's okay. It's all right. It is what it is. But anyway, switching gears, let's go to Down the Rabbit Hole.
Down the rabbit hole.
Down the Rabbit Hole. This is the segment where we go a little deep. We try to figure certain things out. And we try to figure out why certain things are the way they are. So recently, I did a Facebook post on my blog, and it should be up on blackcomiclords.net. Matter of fact, please, while we're here, share, subscribe, leave a comment on our channel. She did it. I didn't do it.
Oh man.
So anyway,
traumatized.
I'm so glad Tamika's not here.
Traumatized.
So anyway, so I did a post about Moon Knight. Moon Knight's been out for a couple of weeks. You know, we all know that's the new Marvel Disney Plus show. And
show's good too.
Show is very, very good. And of course, it didn't take long for people. It didn't take long for some of the melanated among us to begin to be critical. And while I can be critical right along with them, because I didn't get Marvel off, I didn't let Marvel off the hook at all. In fact, I was very, very, not critical, but I was very observant of what was taking place. And you know, this is a character that is, for the most part, a character that should be, you know, a black guy. You know, Mark Spector, or what's the other identity guy?
Stephen Grant.
Stephen Grant. Yeah, Stephen Grant should be a brother. Should be a brother because, again, this is a character that is historically would be Egyptian, and the Egyptians in North African were black people. So we know that much. We know that off the rip. And so what do you do when you're dealing with a character that is not a legacy character, but is a colonized character? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. At 9:03 Central Eastern Time or Central Standard Time, your brother Rich, the OG, is throwing another term into the comic book community lap. Colonized characters. We have legacy characters, we have original characters, and now we're going to come up with colonized characters. What do you do, black people, when your culture has been colonized? What do you do? What do you say? How do you navigate? In my post, I just simply said, well, tell the truth about it. Because you can't hide the truth. Ain't no sense of running from the truth. You might as well embrace it. You know, and I'm even though I'm being facetious about this, you know, we gotta keep it a stack in regards to, we know that these are historically African characters, African gods, African way of life. Now, I'm giving everybody the side eye when it comes to this. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I think some of his stuff is false outrage, and I also think some of it is disingenuous in the sense that, okay, you might be mad that they're using these characters to promote this particular superhero and blah blah blah. Because guess what? I'm a Moon Knight guy. You know, I like the character, I like the story, saying the connection to Egypt and whatever. You know what I'm saying? I can kind of take it and leave it or whatever, because the stories are not about Egypt. It's about Mark Spector. It's about Stephen Grant. It's about a guy with mental illness that happens to be dealing with an Egyptian god. Okay, and that's kind of where it ends and begins. It doesn't really go any further than that. And so I've seen videos, I've seen people talk about, you know, being critical, saying that, you know, this is that we needed to defend Egypt. I'm like, why we got to defend Egypt? What has Egypt done for us? I'll wait.
Well, I mean, moreover, you know, the relationship between Khonshu and Mark Spector is not one where he is an acolyte of Khonshu. He's not an acolyte of the moon god. What he is his avatar. So, and there's distinction between being an avatar and an acolyte. Acolyte is part of your faith, part of your cult, believes in what you believe. Mark Spector is simply a vessel that Khonshu uses to exert his will. So from Khonshu's perspective, he doesn't care what Mark Spector's race, identity, religious belief. He doesn't care about any of that. What he cares about is does he have the skill set and the mentality that he can use to whatever endeavors he wants.
Well,
Mark Spector came across him half dead, so he's desperate. So there's that. He has the skill sets of the mercenary, soldier, spy, all that stuff. He already has that skill set, which is what he needs. So he's perfect for that.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, though. You brought something up, though. You talked about he doesn't care about these different things. So maybe we should be mad at Khonshu.
There you
go. All you hoteps, I'm gonna need y'all to send your emails to Khonshu.
Another way to view the distinction is look between Mark Spector, and if you're reading the current Moon Knight book by Jed MacKay, they introduced a new character called Hunter's Moon.
Yes. And
Hunter's Moon is not just an avatar of Khonshu, a fist of Khonshu, but he's also an acolyte of Khonshu. So he views Mark Spector as unworthy because Mark doesn't care about the faith. He's just being used by Khonshu as one of his fists.
Right.
So that's the way you see the distinction between the two of them.
Well, you know, it's interesting though that they would even bring this dynamic up because guess what? Hunter's Moon is a new character. And it is a character. Funny thing is, I don't even know if that book is going for any real change. Because theoretically, he could be, or they could do a Moon Knight book with him being the feature. But, you know, hey, we're going to appreciate small miracles while they happen.
Imani says the problem starts with modern Egypt distancing themselves from African culture. Does Egypt do that, or does Western culture do that?
Well, he makes the distinction of saying modern Egypt, because the modern Egyptians are not. Modern Egyptians are more Arabic than they are African.
I don't know.
I'm just saying. I mean, he makes a great point, because if you go to Egypt today, you don't really see us. You see
I don't know if that's entirely true.
I suppose you see more of them than you see us, and that could be through, I don't know, Islamic, that wave, the sword of Islam, going through North Africa like it went through everywhere else. But we don't want to talk about that because, hey, that's just not a good thing to talk about these days.
It's a complicated thing for me because
it It is. It's
You
very,
know,
it is very complicated.
American viewpoints on and distinctions on race are just so weird.
Convoluted.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm
I mean, it is what it is, bro. I'm not. Listen. I am
when you
only
say
offering.
they don't look like us, it's hard for me to agree with that because I remember my uncle went to Egypt,
Mhm.
a decade ago, and he says there's a lot more of us than you might realize than what you see on television.
Ah,
Um, Not to mention that us becomes problematic because when you have an intermixing of quote unquote races, I don't
that's
like
just
using that term, but for what people here understand
what
as
it is.
races, when you have with that intermingling over generations, what is us becomes uh, difficult to assess. I mean, think of it this way. In this country, we have people that are every shade of brown, right? We have black people of every from high yellow, quadroon, octagon down to blue black colored people,
Yeah,
right? Same thing
right.
over there. But we still have the one
True.
drop rule for the light skinned dude, right? You could look like
Well,
Kid from Kid and
I
Play.
mean, but that's a white thing. That's not even, you talk. You just said about race and
But
how race is
here's the thing.
depicted in America.
Here's the thing. Would you consider Kid from Kid and Play to be black?
Absolutely.
Okay, so what's the difference between Kid from Kid and Play and the amount of black that he has and someone in Egypt that has the exact same amount of black, but instead of being mixed with a white person, it's mixed with an Arabic person?
Well, I will say
Or as
this.
what we refer to as an
That
Arabic person or a Middle Eastern person.
I think that in African and Eastern cultures in particular, race is a factor, but it is not the main factor, if I can say it. Some people are more cultural, have more cultural leanings versus racial leanings or whatever. The Kenyan may be considered black, but he doesn't see himself as the same as the Nigerian. You don't believe me? Ask.
Exactly.
Just bring up Zoloft Rice.
That's exactly my point. That's why it's hard for me to agree that there's not they don't really consider themselves African. They're part of the African, what is it, the African United Nations, whatever.
Diaspora.
No, the NATO equivalent for Africa. I'm having a
Oh,
brain
you talking
fart.
about the OAAU? I think it's what it's called, the Organization of African.
Yes, the Organization of African States, OAS, or something like that.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Now, mine says they
They
don't
don't.
public associate with African Americans or the African diaspora.
Who's
That's kind of my
what
point.
do you? Well, okay.
Now he's talking about modern Egypt, because you got to
I
understand something.
understand. Look, I
Uh,
get it. I get it. I don't know if it's 100% true, but okay. I had to pull over
I mean,
because yes, the Arabics are the most in there because of Islam.
yeah,
Well, the Arabics are most in there
bruh,
because of
come on,
Islam.
Paul. That's the truth. That's you can't. Listen. That
Difference
crescent
is they
moon.
don't refer to themselves as African. Where are you getting this from, Imani? Are you just?
You know what? Listen, Paul. I'm sorry, guys. You got to understand. Paul has a different spin on this.
It's not a different spin. It's like
Listen,
actually
I think that what you're
talk to
saying.
some people from over there. Um, study their history. I'll say this. It
I mean,
goes
here's the
back to
thing.
what you were saying, Richard. Not everyone focuses. Everyone in the world focuses on race the way that Americans do. For many other peoples in the world, it's more of a cultural thing before race. And that, the lens of race is very unique in the United States. I'll just say it like that.
I mean, listen. I'm not lost on the fact that we are different, but we're different because of our experience in terms of the transatlantic slave trade. That's
I
that
get
you
it.
can't unring that bell. That's a
No, I
400
get it.
year bell that you can't unring. You know,
But
so
it's like
but
you're
what
using
I'm getting at though
Using
is
American concepts for peoples that don't think like
Mhm.
that because they're just their experiences aren't like that. You just said yourself, we are, Americans have their concepts of race and their viewpoints on this based on the experiences of the transatlantic slave. But for those who don't have that experience, their definitions of race aren't the same as what we define as race.
I don't disagree, but what I'm getting at though is that to Amani's point, there is a breakdown in connection in terms of the African family. You know,
What,
we,
what do
we
you, what do
can't
you,
we can go around and round and round and round in circles. All I'm saying is that getting back to our subject matter, this character is an Egyptian character.
yeah,
Historically, those characters would be African. Let's say,
yeah,
for example, let's say that if that these characters that the guy that they portrayed that's portraying Mark Spector was an Egyptian, was a
uh-huh.
real Egyptian, okay, but he's an Egyptian with an Arabic background, but he's from Egypt because that's would we have an issue with, or would we just say, well, he's from Egypt? So because we do know that the people that are in Egypt right now, these were not the same people thousands of years ago. This wasn't.
They were not. That's part of my point. Is they were not. But they didn't. The black people of Egypt didn't just disappear.
No, no, no,
They
no.
didn't
They
like
wound up.
have an
What
invasion
you talking
from
about,
the
Paul?
Persians and then they just disappeared. It
They
didn't work that way.
no, Paul. They wound up in Brooklyn. What are you talking about? They went to Brooklyn. They went to Texas. They went to Ohio, Detroit.
Imani
But
says, whenever conversations like this come up, it's interesting how Egyptians never seem to chime in. I never heard Egyptians defend or deny the influence or presence of the African influence. I don't know how many conversations do you have with Egyptians. I mean, look, when what's his name in Libya, Muammar Gaddafi used to go to the what is it, OAS? I know it's probably something else, but something like that. He used to go to those meetings all the time, and he would be the first one to say Libya is an African country, Egypt is an
Mhm.
African country. These concepts of we're part of the Middle East doesn't make sense. We're an African country. He said that.
Yeah, I mean the term Middle East is a World War II European term.
It's a European concept. This is why I'm laughing my ass off when we're talking about this. These are Arab countries, and this is the Middle East.
But
These are
these are.
European terms.
I agree, but these are still to this day, whether we want to acknowledge it or not, the Western powers set certain things up this way. That's the reason why the quote unquote Middle East functions the way it functions. If the Middle East or quote unquote that region of the world didn't have oil, there would be no reason for them to try to colonize it or even have anything to do with it.
Yeah, but I'm saying
It's all about money.
even the term Middle East is Eurocentric. It's
Yeah, absolutely.
it's the east of what?
It's in the Middle East. It's in the middle between.
When you put Europe as the center, everything is designed. Everything is defined by that. That's why they refer to Eastern cultures of China and India because it's east of Europe, or the Western cultures, or, the Western Hemisphere, because it's west of Europe. Because Europe is viewed as a center of it all.
Listen,
And
bro,
we're using these
I
terms.
get what you're saying, but we can't discount the fact that there is a disconnect there, and that this outrage that sometimes that we experience it's out of whether it's not knowing our history in full or not having.
All I'm saying is that they are embracing these distinctions. I don't know, bro. I'm not certain where you're getting these. You're making these very conclusionary statements.
Well,
and
let's
I'm not
let's let's
sure
let's look
what
at
they're
another
based
character.
on.
Let's look at another character. Let's look at Hawkman.
No,
Let's
no.
look at
I
Carter
give you,
Hall.
I give you an example. Hunter's Moon.
We just talked about Hunter's Moon, and I get
Yes,
it.
but he's right along this conversation because he is Black Egyptian. Is he not?
He is.
But no, you haven't heard anyone talk about that. No one's saying, "Oh well, Hunter's Moon. We don't support him
Well, that's
because
why
he's Egyptian. He's not really Black."
that's why I say some of this is part false outrage,
Yeah,
because a lot of people that they don't really know Moonlight lore, and again, we got to realize that Hunter's Moon is a new character. Hunter's Moon is not a part of the. He's in the Moon Knight or the Marvel canon now because they just introduced him. Now I will say this. Ironically, the first villain that Moon Knight faces in Moon Knight #1 is Bushmaster. It's the first appearance of Bushmaster. It's #1, a black man. So you can take that to the bank too. Well, the mayonnaise just be messy. Anyway, but let me go back. Let's instead of looking at Carter Hall, let's look at Dr. Fate, another DC character who wears the Ankh. He is considered a Lord of Order, and we know him, and we know his helmet. We know that he kind of, I guess, the helmet contains the guide. That makes any sense. For Dr. Fate. This is a character, a white character, but he wears the Ankh. He's the only. This is going to trigger a whole lot of black people. He's the only character in DC that uses the Ankh. I say, sorry, hotel people. Who else? I'll wait.
Look, I'm not a DC guy, so I'll take your word for it.
I'll wait.
I don't
know of another character that uses the Ankh, which is the symbol of life. Yeah.
Dr. Mist doesn't even use
that's the character. That's a character that has colonized an image. Was the Ankh as an association with Egypt or Kemet, for those who want to be technical in the application. But no one really says a whole lot about Dr. Fate because Dr. Fate is a D or a B or C list character. No one cares.
Yeah.
Hawkman.
Well, he's going to be in the new Black Adam movie, right?
Yeah, Hawkman's going to be in the new Black Adam movie. Now, the Aldrich Hodge is playing Hawkman.
Dr. Fate is going to be in
the new Black Adam movie.
Is going to be.
He is. He is going to be.
He's being played by Pierce Brosnan, James Bond.
Yeah. So Carter Hall is actually, I'm guessing, played by Aldrich Hodge because he's playing Hawkman.
Right.
He's a brother. They kind of got that right. Now, the whole thought of Carter Hall is, if you know anything about Hawkman literature, I thought it was so funny that when they made the announcement that Aldrich Hodge was going to play Hawkman in the Black Adam movie, all of these Hawkman fans came out of the woodwork. I ain't never seen you roaches prior to this point. I don't go to the comic book shop and talk about Hawkman with brothers.
What's up, James Tomlinson? How you doing, brother?
Hey, Jay, what's going on with you, bro? Good to see you, man.
Well, explain something to me because I don't know anything about Hawkman other than what I saw in the Justice League cartoons.
Hawkman is Carter Hall is an Egyptian.
Hold on. There's two origins that I have for him. Again, my experience with Hawkman is from the cartoons and from the Arrowverse. In the cartoons, they show him as a Thanagarian, who's an alien, right? And just from a race of people that just have wings and fly. On the Arrowverse show, they did this origin where he and what's the girl's name? The hot girl's name? First the S or something like that, right?
I don't know if it's not Sarah.
Sarah, something like that. Whatever her name is. Him and Hawk Girl were in ancient Egypt. They were lovers, and I guess the sorcerer Pharaoh guy was felt jilted, and so he put a curse on them and said, you know, you're cursed to always die throughout eternity over and over again. So in essence, grants them immortality, but also, you know, they'll forget who they are, but because their love is so strong, they'll always be drawn back together. So they keep going back to the generations, dying and being reincarnated and having to find each other again.
Well, I mean, the whole thought is that Carter Hall is a reincarnation of a family.
So his soul is Egyptian.
Yeah, I prefer. This is me personally. This is just Richard. I prefer the Thanagarian backstory to the Egyptian thing, because there's another white guy playing with black people things.
Well, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. Is with the Egyptian thing, he can be reincarnated as any race, any person throughout history. His soul and his mind will be the Egyptian guy, but he'll end up looking like anybody because he'll just reincarnate as any person he can.
But you got to understand too, Hawkman been around since the 40s, and Hawkman has never been anything but a white person.
Okay, so in a comic book, you said it's been around since the 40s. Which version does the 40s go with? The Thanagarians or the Egyptian?
I'll be honest, I don't 100% know. I stopped reading I started reading Hawkman a few years ago, and I started reading Hawkman because of the cartoons. It wasn't because I was just in love with. I'm a DC guy, but I don't know everything about a DC guy. But I do know that character's been around since the 40s.
I bet it was the Dwayne McDuffie, the cartoons, that sucked you in too, just like me.
Probably was. I think it was. But the thing is, if you go back and look at those books, the older books, the Silver Age, the Copper Age books, dude's white. He's a white guy. So what they're doing with the movie is interesting. And it at some point we'll probably see Hawkman as a black guy in the comics. You know, they want to trigger some people, I think, but they're not just, you know, Hawkman's not an A-list character. So from that standpoint, nobody really cares. Now, there are some good Hawkman stories in regards to him and the Atom, which I think are both checking out. So, you know, there's good stories there. Matter of fact, the last volume of Hawkman that DC put out was probably as good as it gets. It was pretty good. Nice covers, good story. The Atom is featured in a few other characters too. So, you know, go check out if you want to read something different. And you know, Hawkman is not bad. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, he's not going to be a popular character. It's a character I feel like is a colonized character in the sense that, you know, with the backstory of the Egyptians and things of that nature. Because to me, the Thanagarian story is more legitimate than the ancient Egypt type thing. Because the whole thing is, you know, if you go back and you look at ancient Egypt or whatever, a lot of people think that black people didn't build the pyramids; that aliens built. So we're not smart, Paul. Your people are not that smart, guy.
You know, I enjoy showing my daughter the Egyptian hieroglyphics in the paintings, which clearly show black people, you know, in ancient Egypt. So she knows, you know, there are people that look like her that had a part in that. James Thomason says, lots of books coming out this week. On a side note, Richard, I'm still getting Green Lantern 12.
Right on, brother.
What books do we have coming out, Richard?
Man, you know what? I really don't know. I think is Black Panther coming out this week?
I don't know.
Yeah, can we go to the FOCs? Can we go to the website? Maybe it's a good time to go to the website, bro. What books are coming out this week? I don't know.
I haven't done the list for books coming out for this week yet. but I can
Not
look
yet.
back at the prior FOCs and kind of figure it out.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. I'm reading currently a mishmash of things. I'm reading a White Tiger graphic novel right now. Well, not graphic, but a White Tiger trade. I'm reading that. I'm in the middle of trying to start. Well, I'm actually collecting. I got most of the books here now. This stack of books here. I'm reading. I'm trying to get the whole Shadowland story. I'm about 3 or 4 issues I'm missing. So I'm getting ready to read this. And probably at some point I can let this go afterward. After I finish reading it, I'll probably offer this in a giveaway. The whole Shadowland story. So I want to read the story. Daredevil is, you know, Daredevil's kind of like a guilty pleasure.
Did you read
something I
that?
don't
Did you
really
read
talk about.
the end of Devil's Reign?
No, man, I stayed away from Devil's Reign. I just didn't want to get sucked in. Because Chip Zdarsky is who he is for a reason, and you know that guy's getting enough of my bread as is. So, funny thing is, they're getting ready to start a new Daredevil #1, which is kind of jacked up, bro. You know, Marvel, can y'all leave well enough alone? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Do we really need another #1? Speaking of which, because we're kind of down the rabbit hole, we're going to probably get ready to shut it down.
Well, hold on.
X-Men Red.
I brought up the list of books coming out this week.
Oh, okay.
It's from our League of Comic Geek page. We've got Batman 89. Have you been reading this series?
I got the Harvey Dent, Billy D. Williams cover. I hadn't been reading.
This is a low-key good Black series because, you know, Harvey Dent is the central figure. And then you've got one of Marlon Wayans' version of Robin,
yeah.
In this book
Shout
as
out
well.
to him, man. Shout out to him and his agent for getting paid for a movie that didn't even come out.
Here's that Green Lantern 12 cover. So that's coming out. There's 2 covers for it.
Yeah, I like that cover B though, man. That cover B is
right here, right? Yeah, that's
man.
Noctera is coming out. That's been a solid book. Let's see. We Ride Titans is coming out. And
is that Crescenta?
No, that's
Star Wars 22?
That's Chewbacca. That's Chewbacca.
Oh, okay.
Actually, hold on. Give me a second here. Let's do a whole look. Miles Morales 37 is coming out.
Okay. Next chapter of Trial of the Amazons, Wonder Woman 786.
Yep, Wonder Woman 786. One thing on this Miles Morales for you guys that are looking towards getting his sister in issue 38. It's rumored that there may be a cameo of his sister as the adult version or Spider Slayer version in this 37. So don't skip 37 either. Let's see what else we got. Already talked about Batman 89. Yeah, here's the Black Panther 5. This cover is dope.
Yes, it is.
This Alex Ross cover is just sick. And it is, in essence, an homage to Ultimate Fallout #4.
Yes, it is. Yeah, that's a pretty dope, amazing cover. Listen, guys, if you are not a Black Panther fan, I don't care. You still want that cover. You still want that.
You want to get this. You want to get this book. You want to get this cover. This is the return of Tosin Aduye, the new Wakandan hero. He comes back in this book. You saw how big #3 blew up, right? And now you can't find that book, and it's selling for like a few $100s now. He's coming back. This is his second appearance in this book. I think that's part of the reason why Marvel decided to go with an Ultimate Fallout 4, homage cover.
Yeah. That's cool.
I Am Batman's coming out. I Am Batman 8. This is a dope book. I don't care what anybody says. This I Am Batman book is good. John Ridley is doing his damn thing on this book. This Gotham book is really a Batman and Robin book. It is the Tim Fox, Jace Fox, next Batman character, and Nightwing. Not Nightwing, I'm sorry, Red Hood. So in essence, it's kind of a Batman and Robin book.
Red Hood.
Miles Morales. What if Miles Morales becomes Wolverine? I'm on record as saying I absolutely detested this concept of making Miles Morales skip, white versions, black versions of white characters with Miles Morales. I thought it was a bit pandering and just sort of trying to take advantage and be a money grab. But this is really well written. The first issue was very well written. It was very black. Like everybody in the book was black. I can't if it's well written, it's written by a black creator, it's got a black character, I can't in all good conscience not support the book. So I ordered that.
Well, now your boy Rich, I'm on the other side of that spectrum. But hey, I will say this.
I don't say it's a popular opinion.
Black comic lords, black comic queens, y'all want to send your boy AOK with that in the, I wouldn't be mad. I'm just saying.
This is 7 Secrets 16. I think this is the final issue of this run by Tom Taylor, which is a cool book. Naomi number 2 comes out.
Okay.
Reading Naomi 2, I refer to it, the season 2 of Naomi, reading it as like having mouthwash in the morning when you want to rinse out the taste of the CW show.
Is it still on?
Apparently. Shadow Man number 8 comes out.
Hey.
Along with your boy.
Yeah, Anita Halls. Shout out to Derek. We're going to be doing Anita Halls and issue 5 and 6 coming soon. Yeah.
What else we got? We Ride Titans. Look, for you guys that are into kaiju and mecha, if you like that movie Pacific Rim, this is your book right here. Black characters in it. This family are a family of mecha riders that protect their city from invading kaiju. So if you like robots and monsters, this is your book. This father is a former kaiju rider who's injured. His son took over. His son, I guess, got spooked. His daughter, who is his estranged daughter, they don't get along at all. He's trying to teach her the ropes as to how to take over the family business of being the protectors of the city from the kaiju, using these mecha called Titans. So it's a family dynamic thing. You got a little action in there. It's I dig it. Let's see what else we got coming out. I think that is just about it. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff. Like James said, we're gonna probably be going broke at the comic shop.
Probably going broke at the comic shop. Yeah. I do have an interesting spec.
What is that?
And I don't do spec, but I did. I don't want to refer to a spec. I find it an interesting possibility. We know that in the new Black Panther 2 movie, we know Namor is going to be in it, right?
Right.
We know Everett K. Ross is going to be in it. We know that Sony has planned a Kraven movie, right?
Yes.
And we know that it's on record as being that the Ryan Coogler, the director of Black Panther, he wanted Kraven to be his villain, actually, in the first movie. But Marvel said no, use Killmonger, etc., and the rest is history. But he wanted Kraven in his movie, and we know Kraven's coming to the MCU, so to speak, in the Sonyverse. So here's the thing. Do you have not Reggie Hudlin, Christopher Priest run, Black Panther run?
I do.
Okay. So can you tell me what's the issue that Christopher Priest wrote? Christopher Priest's first issue that introduced that, and where he wrote Black Panther and also introduced Everett K. Ross.
This is a trivia question.
Mind you, now I didn't know the answer to this question. I didn't realize, and I've had that series and I've read it. You know, I did not know the answer to that series until like yesterday.
Wow. I'll be honest. It's not something that that's not like a common knowledge.
You might be overthinking it. What's the first issue Christopher Priest wrote with Black Panther and Everett K. Ross? You said you have the
number one. It's got to be Black Panther number one.
Right. That's what I said. I and you were wrong. The first issue that Christopher Priest wrote with Black Panther and Everett K. Ross was this issue right here.
This is a Marvel Knights book.
Nope.
Khazar
number 1, volume 3 from 1997. Black Panther came out in 1998, a year later. This is the very first appearance of Everett K. Ross. He's in this book. Oh, sorry. It's not this issue. It's issue 17. But I want to show you something about this issue. Well, let me skip ahead. Because now I'm screwing up the whole thing. And then you think I'm crazy. Let me show you this first. His first appearance was actually Khazar number 17, which is this book. See his name at the bottom, Priest.
Mm-hmm.
Khazar's holding this girl named Jamaica, who's in love with him, despite the fact that he's married with a kid. Everett K. Ross.
I didn't even know Christopher Priest wrote Khazar. That's a new. I'm a days old to know that.
This is Everett K. Ross right here.
Okay.
This is his first appearance. And also in this book, later on, is an appearance by the Black Panther.
What? Oh, man, please. Come on now.
Can you believe that?
I won't. That's crazy.
It blew my mind, dude. I just found this out yesterday.
Wow.
This is the first appearance of Everett K. Ross, and this is the first time Christopher Priest ever wrote Black Panther. Is in Khazar number 17, volume 3, 1997, a year before he wrote Black Panther number 1 of the Marvel Knights run.
Okay.
Now we get to the spec portion. Yep. Right? In the same Khazar run. Is it Khazar or Khazar? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Who cares?
I don't know either.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of any character that, sort of shows, whatever. Tarzan. This other character is introduced in the same. Remember I showed you issue number 1 of Khazar, right?
Yeah.
Look at this character here. His name is Gregor. Black character. And he's known as someone who helped train Kraven, the hunter.
Wow. Yeah, that might be a spec. That might be a legit spec.
Oh, but there's more. There is more. Okay. So this guy mentions that, oh, you used to train. You used to train Craven the Hunter. You're a good, badass warrior. I want to hire you to kill Khazar because whatever. I'm a bad guy, right? This guy Gregor is part of a group of people called the Baduan. That's BHADWUAN or BW, Baduan, something like that. And they're introduced in the next issue. Kind of. Well, let's go a little further. Remember I told you I don't like Khazar because it reminds me of just the whole Tarzan concept. This is Khazar and his family. See him, see his wife, see his kid. Who's this right here? Who's the black lady with the dreads? Her name is Zira. She's the family mammy. I shit you not. She is the family mammy.
Well, no, we're gonna say Nana. We're gonna say Nanny. We're gonna say
whatever.
That. We're gonna say,
look,
keep,
you're making my point for me. I mean, they refer to her as the nanny, but it's like, why is this woman? Here's the mom right here. You can't take care of your own kid. Whatever. So this is the family nanny. Her name is Zira. Zira is from a tribe of people called the Badwan, something like that, which you see in the next issue. These people are descended from ancient Atlantis, from before Atlantis fell. And they're all black. And Gregor is one of them. Zira is one of them. So you had an entire race of black Atlanteans that moved to the Savage Land. And they have mystical powers and sorcery. And they run the Savage Land.
Okay.
Didn't know that. Did not know that. So for you who want to collect this series, the first introduction of a Baduan person is Gregor in issue number 1. Issue number 17 is the second introduction of a person, Zira. And she mentions the fact that she's part of this race. It's also the first introduction of Eric K. Ross. It's also the first time Christopher Priest wrote Black Panther. And issues 18 and 19 give you a little bit more details about the Baduan people. And you get to see a group of them in issues 18 and 19. So that's the spec. If you're thinking Craven the Hunter, Atlantis, Black Panther, how does it all tie together in a movie? These books all tie it all together.
That's what's up. Well, we got a spec
That's your
tonight.
Black Comic Lord. That's your Black Comic Lord spec for the day.
Go out and do what you will with that. You know what I'm saying? Lord knows, ain't too many of us going out to buy Khazar books or Khazar or whatever it is. But hey, now you have some motivation to do that. Hey, get the new blondes.
These books are cheap. I mean, if you're paying more than $3, you're probably paying too much.
That's what's up. But look, it is. We are an hour and a half in. We're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. We've had a good time. We've talked about a lot of different things, talked about a couple of cool books, Spider-Punk in particularly, and the Joneses. So go out and grab those. Also,
let me go through these comments real quick. I didn't pull all these comments up. James Tomlinson said, Green Lantern 12, I Am Batman 8, Naomi 2.
The one you just showed. Yeah.
Okay, the books to it. Rico says, don't quote me, but I believe the Golden Age Hawkman's origin is ancient Egyptian, but I'll check to be certain. And Arthur English says, I have all A and B covers of Batman 89. That's what's up. Arthur English also says also have all of Miles 1 through 36. Okay, that's a great accomplishment. James Tomlinson, I Am Batman 8 has no serious moments.
So
James reads issues before anybody else. I mean, we need to go ahead and hire James as our preview guy.
Yeah. No, so we got enough DC snitch. We don't need one on payroll. No.
Arthur English, I also have all of I Am Batman and Gotham. Okay. Imani says I have issue 1.
Maybe he's talking about the Black Panther stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the answer to the question. And he also asked, did Priest write the entire series? No, Imani, he didn't write the entire series. In fact, the only issue I saw that he wrote was that issue 17. Arthur English says, I'm out tomorrow for them all. Thanks for the info. So
that's what's up.
There we go. Thank y'all for watching. Right. We hope you like the video. Please hit the like button at the bottom. That's what helps.
Please share the video. Share with a friend. Share with a hater. I don't care. Hey.
Yes, hit the share button. That's how you really help us out.
Yeah.
I'm not asking you for money yet. We're just asking you to like and share the video.
I'm gonna start putting my cash app, bro. I listen. It there's levels to this pimping. But anyway, guys, look, we gotta get out of here. Man, Paul, it's your boy Rich hanging out with tonight, Sunday Night Live. Again, we thank you guys for showing us so much love. Please go check out the website, www.blackcomiclords.net. Go out there, hang out. We got some merch, t-shirts, hats, masks. We got a lot of stuff. Please, 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 please. We need your support. And then Paul said we ain't asking for money, but we definitely ask you for your support. Because yeah, bro, to make this happen every week, it ain't cheap. And your boy gotta, I gotta upgrade some equipment, and that's coming out of my pocket. So please, you know what I'm saying? Rico, shout out to you, my brothers. Sell one of them Legend of Blue Marvel #1s you got. You got about a dozen of them. Sell one of those and support the channel. I'm just kidding. That's my bro. I love that dude to death. But no, seriously, guys, we want you guys to support, share, subscribe, all that. Like the video, tell your friends about us. You know what I'm saying? We trying to do good things. Oh, by the way, can we talk about the interview real quick, Paul? Have they been released yet?
No, not yet.
Lord. We have something hot coming up down the pipe. It's coming in hot. I don't know when it's gonna get to, when you guys gonna get to see it, but I promise you, it's gonna be a blessing, and you're gonna enjoy.
I'll tell Derek to go ahead and release it tomorrow.
Yeah, please do, because yeah, we can't sit on this too long, But yeah, just check out the Black Comic Lords Facebook. We got a dope interview we're going to be talking about or getting ready to release. We want you guys to check it out. We're doing big things out here, man. So we need your support. We need your help. And again, we're going to go ahead and
Derek just messaged me and says he can release it now. So go ahead and release it now, Derek.
Yes. So since he's going to release it, we can go ahead and tell you who it is. We had the honor and privilege of sitting down with Angelique Roche, who is one of the editors of Marvel Voices. And she is a
creator and producer.
Yeah, she's a sister doing big things, attorney, and she's easy on the eye, guys. So I promise you won't look away from the video. So anyway, we have that we had a nice chat with her, and she's very funny, very engaging, and she loves our space. And we just had a good time with it. My man Paul, he kind of facilitated the interview, and we do what we do. You know what we didn't do though, Paul, with her? We didn't ask her the #1 Black Comic Lord question.
What's on your pull list?
Yeah, we didn't ask that.
We didn't ask that.
I tell you what she did answer. Yeah, shout out to some of y'all gonna be in your feelings when you see this interview. That's all.
Angelique Roche is one of the co-writers with Professor John Jennings. They're working on the My Superhero is Black book for Marvel that's coming out October 11th. by Simon and Schuster Books. When I tell you guys, every single one of you Black comic lords is going to want this book. I don't think I'm understating it at all. Overstating it. Every single one of you is going to want this book. You're going to have. It's not a reference book per se, but it's going to have a lot of Black characters in it, and it will be something that everyone will be referencing on this page. I promise you. It's going to be that good.
And in short, it's going to be a who's who in the Marvel universe that's Black.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we know that this is going to be something that the collectors are going to grab, just because you need a book like that in your library. You know, guys, you can't call yourself a Black comic head and you don't know all the characters. And guess what? I was under the impression that Marvel may have had 100 characters, 100 Black characters on their roster.
She said a few hundred.
They got hundreds with an S. Hundreds of Black characters. And so there's a lot of love that went into this book. So shout out to her and John Jennings for doing this labor of love, you know, and man, just being a part of our space. So with that, guys, we gotta go. The time is spent.
Hold on. I mean, you can't just drop that. You just can't just drop that and not just give them a little inkling of what to expect. So here's what.
Okay, well, go ahead and show the teaser. We got a teaser trailer for y'all. Only on Black Comic Lords, Comics with Rich.
Well, and Sunspot doesn't need to be a major page. In the very first pages of Sunspot's story, he is getting beat up because he's Black.
We point that out all the time, but unfortunately, a lot of people who are newer readers, or maybe have been more casual fans who just got exposed to Sunspot via the movies, in which he is not what he appears to be in the initial comics, they're unaware of that fact, and we have to educate them on.
I understand that.
Down that hill, though.
But I will tell you right now, I will give you this thing, and you can be very clear. Canonically, Sunspot is Black.
We will be making a clip of what you just said and playing that on repeat. Just like that.
I mean, it's public information. But canonically, Sunspot is Black.
We're gonna title this interview "Sunspot is Black," an interview with Angela Crochet. Look, that is not That's it.
Yes. Yeah, we had a lot of fun with her and enjoyed it. So go to the website, go to the YouTube channel, find the interview, check it out. It's about an hour and a half, I want to say. And about an hour and 15 minutes.
I'm gonna see if I can drop the video into the chat.
Yeah, that'll work. So yeah, but you know, this has been one of the more fun interviews. All our interviews are fun, but we definitely really enjoyed the energy that we had in this interview. It was great. And you know,
Arthur English, Sale Blue Marvel too.
Marvel. Hell yeah! Hey, look, bro, we just try to. Anybody try to listen? We all want to get paid, but I ain't trying to get paid on my brother like that. I was just being facetious. But you know, it takes a lot of money to make this magic happen, and we want to improve. We want to grow the channel and things of that nature. So, but we not we definitely are doing things behind the scenes. Trust and believe. Yeah, we're not going away.
I just dropped the video in the chat. Please go ahead and check it out. We're about to wrap this up right now.
Yes. It is almost 10 o'clock, but that's what's up. So, before we get out of here, before we go, I know we had to say something. Atlanta. We're not going to talk about it. We ain't going to talk about it. But I'm telling you this. Go watch Atlanta.
That last episode was crazy.
Season 3, episode 4. I'm telling you, I'm saying it right here. One of the most important episodic 34, 35 minutes of video you'll ever want to watch.
Yeah.
Yes, it is that good. Donald Glover and his brother
is an exploration of whiteness.
The curse of whiteness. And yes, I'm here for all that smoke. I'm here for it all. Yeah, it's that good. So listen, I don't know what you got to do. You can go watch the interview, or you can go find Atlanta on one of your streaming channels that hosts Fox. But go watch that. For real. That's just some nerd stuff right there. We getting out of here. It's your boy Rich, my man Paul. We're gonna get out of here. We love you. Again, we say it all the time. Buy the comics, read the comics. And we just want to thank you again. Till next time. Peace. Yeah.
Peace.